Hello, everyone. Today is October 2nd, 2024. And for this subject, it is about the Tim Walz and JD Vance debate that happened yesterday. So just want to give my take on it and see how and what I thought for what just happened. Now, it was long and boring because as much as some of the stuff was important, it's just like, we kind of get the point. They say the same thing, so it's just really no different. But I have noticed one thing is that these two candidates were very respectful to each other. It wasn't like how Trump was always like going after it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that same motive from JD Vance or Tim Walz to each other. These are respectable men towards each other. And this is what we need. We need respectable politicians. When in reality, I keep on saying that they're all bought and paid for. But this was obviously, well, how do I say this? That this is just what we need. They need to stop pretending that, oh no, I said, oh no, we don't, it says, oh no, we really hate each other. Yeah, right, dude. Yeah, right. And yeah, there was one thing I have learned from Tim Walz. From some people say, oh, well, he abandoned his post, during his time in war. And what war? Some even say, like, I believe he actually was in the service, but there were some talks about, like, oh, he was National Guard, but he was talking about, oh, he was just a coward and, not actually, like, knowing what it's like to battle. I mean, if he really is a National Guard, that is not their job just to go out overseas and just take opportunity when the National Guard is about defending our nation. Regular soldiers do that. They do the outside stuff, and they're calling him, and some people are calling him a coward if he really is a National Guard, or maybe he really is a veteran. But if that's the case, if that's what he really is, and that's the case, then that's wrong. That's very hypocritical and stupid for some people, of course. But JD Vance, like, he kind of went after like JD Vance kind of went after like Tim Walz, but he was very respectful, But what it was annoying is that why is it always the broadcasts that are always on Democratic ones? How are they only fact-checking like JD Vance and they're not really fact-checking like Tim Walz? Oh, well, I mean, like, we're just pointing out on all the lies and whatnot. Yeah, right. Trump had to prove that example when he had to go into like a Democratic interview when he asked them, oh, we're the lowest mortality, so we're the highest mortality rate. And Trump says, no, we are not. We are the lowest. And he says, no, actually, if you read this, no. Then he pulls out some fucking papers and show these like lying assholes who like don't do their research whatsoever besides what they're told. And they just, and then the guy was just like, oh wow, yeah, that motherfucker got nothing to say. Seriously. And this goes for some Republicans, too, who don't really do their fact checks either. I mean, this goes for anyone. This needs to stop, really. Now, not saying limiting the use of the news stations will ever help this case, because you are still going to get, like, false media anyway. Because if you get rid of one thing, the problem will still cause. You can't stop the evil. Like, you can't stop evil, but you can surely prevent it. Evil will still continue to rise. I just don't know why some people claim to say, oh, we can get rid of the problem by becoming the problem. Yeah, right, because guess who also comes to rise? The problem. Like, it's just endless. Hey, if you are going to get rid of most of the stuff, then you could always introduce socialism and communism that could possibly run our country eventually. Well, my brother, I've heard some people claim to say that we are living in a communist country, but I had to take a pause and I had to take a step back and listen to this. If we were really in a communist country, then most of what we say most of us stuff that we say as an opinion would be thrown out the window and we'd probably be in jail for it because it's misinformation. Oh, and the talks about, unarming the citizens. Yeah, that's obviously not communism if you're trying to unarm the citizens because you're telling her that, oh no, we are the government. We are here to help. Yeah, bull fucking shit. Government has done nothing besides, like, act like, oh no, we could solve the violence by getting rid of the only thing that was keeping people defending in the first place. Yeah, get rid of the guns from the people. And I know some people ask like logical questions like, oh, I mean, is it if you're referencing to the AR-15, then yeah, I think people should. You have to understand that the AR-15 is not the only weapon that that some of these politicians are trying to get their hands on. It's eventually going to be down the road with no logic whatsoever. And then they're just going to go down taking your handguns, your shotguns, your bolt actions. Oh, because they're all considered weapons. They're all deadly weapons. You can't have them. Oh, even if you had the right and the permits to do it, yeah, you still can't have it. You still can't. And there's been talks about Kamala Harris wanting to open a buyback thing. So so some of you may need to understand that what this buyback is. It was basically introduced in Australia, which basically means, hey, you can turn in your gun as long as if you turn in your money, if you turn like your weapon, you can get your money back and whatnot. But was this a choice? No, it was mandatory. You had to do it. So basically telling you need to force up your guns. And of course, I'm not surprised that same logic is going to apply in America. I'm not surprised. And people will be blinded by the fact that like, oh, they're trying to take it away. No, what if we give you money? Yeah, my rent is pretty due. So I'll just give up my rights and the thing that I've defended myself and take care of myself. Not saying a gun just does everything for you. It's just the fact that you just know how to defend yourself. Oh, I mean, I can just defend myself with fists and like fucking nunchucks. Yeah, because that surely applies to some of the bad people who don't apply to this. Like, this isn't the fucking medieval. This isn't like the medieval era where we're just going around like carrying swords and whatnot. So still, it's very pointless to act like, oh, I mean, you can defend yourself by, I don't know, fucking pepper spraying shit while against a gunman. Really? Yeah, because I wonder who's going to get the first shot. And I mean, it all depends. I mean, if that guy's a really good shot and he knows how to handle a weapon, then you're screwed. If it's some wacko who just like likes to point a gun but never fired it, yeah, the chances are that he's not actually going to like kill. Either is that he won't actually get it, he won't get a chance of succeeding. But anything could go wrong if he can mishandle the weapon and fire it at you, which can happen sometimes with a bunch of wackos who wave guns at other people's face as they're robbing them. But anyway, I know this was about the Tim Walz and JD Vance debate, but I'm just going to say this. The debate was very respectful, like respectable. I could say that. I don't care if these two candidates that I've ever wanted to choose, and I didn't choose any of the one of them. I mean, I don't care for any of them. I don't care about the who runs in our office anyway. It's just that I just prefer who I see fits best in this office, But of course, some people I actually have belief that it's very much possible that maybe it's very much possible that Kamala Harris could win this year, but Trump has the numbers. He is the winning, so Kamala won't get that chance unless something goes completely sideways and they say oh guys, Trump is now. I was like, oh now guys, we now got the evidence to put Trump in jail. Yeah, right. You've been saying that before, and now you act like you have the evidence now. Yeah, give me a break. He was in trial before, so why wasn't he in jail if he's clearly bad? Yeah, let me guess. Yeah, put all that oh, well, he's just so powerful and corrupt that we're just gonna put that against him. No, it just means you're fucking shit when it comes with putting people in trial when you know it was just a minor setback to help your politicians succeed because it's what you're bought and paid for to do. Sabotage, really. Dig each other's people out of the past and whatnot. But other than that, yeah, these two guys were very respectful, and I could say that. Some people, I will say this out of I don't know why some people will say this, oh, even though it was respectful, but clearly one out the upper hand. Get out of here with that shit. Stop trying to like provoke the fact that, oh, well, one's obviously better. Try to rub it off the fact that, oh, these were two respectful men, but you act like there was actually a winner. Like, in this point, there really shouldn't even be winners. Like, well, I think both people should be winners. Really. Well, then how do we know which one's going to be in office then? Well, even a debate wouldn't even matter anyway. I mean, I guess it would, but still. I hate the fact that some people are just trying to rub it off the fact that, oh no, it's, oh, you know, it's, how do I say this? How do I say this? They're just trying to rub off the fact that maybe I am sorry. I am getting distracted right now. I'm just like watching two cats that I own, like two cats. Well, they're not entirely mine. They were my aunt's. And yeah, there are two female cats that don't get along, so it's just a distraction right now. But I'm getting heavily distracted. But I will say this, is that I hate the fact that some people are just trying to rub it off the fact that, oh, there was clearly a winner in that moment. They were both respectful. Quit trying to instigate the fact there actually was a winner when they were both being respectful. Like, stop trying to act like, oh, well, things are just like better as it seems, or whatever. Like, whatever they're trying to make a point that, oh, well, this party is obviously better at like manhandling like ideas and ideas and whatnot. Ridiculous. I've seen some reckless Democrats too, so don't act like one side is better than the other. And what does that say for you? If some Democrats are going to go out and say, well, we're better at like handling the questions and whatnot. Okay, well, do you want to explain the fact that why Bernie Sanders is a Democrat and admitted to be a socialist, but that's the party that you represent? Oh, we don't talk about Bernie. Yeah, figures, because you don't want to put anyone else's problems and their beliefs, and then you act like, no, they're not part of us. Don't know that guy. Seriously, he's part of your party. Not saying Republicans have done like reckless stuff in their own times and say a bunch of nonsense, but still, I'm just saying at this point, they were both respectful. There were some points that JD Vance actually did agree to like Tim Walz's, and he was respectful of that. It wasn't how like Trump was acting. I mean, Trump, I understand, he's like an all-out person. He doesn't like do things by. He doesn't just do things by a script. He just knows what he needs to do. And they're acting like, no, you don't know what you need to do because there's a lot of stakes at hand, when he could just do all these years when he was in office all over again if he wanted to. And I think that's kind of the plan that we're kind of headed to. Now with Kamala, here's what I think. Now, there is one thing that I can't agree with Kamala. Well, there is one thing that I can't agree with one supporter that you all know and are familiar with. He was a retired Navy SEAL, and he was a governor. He's an old guy, gray slick back hair, but very open-minded. I'll give you that. I'm probably like this guy is probably the reason why I'm actually open-minded to begin with, and actually realize the right and wrong to each other's parties. And this is people what we need. You know, at least he can acknowledge the wrong and this stupidity in this world that we have, and the stupidity of this world, and he does not give two shits. If he were like, oh, you can't prove that, even like when some people are saying the fact that, oh, well, what is your thoughts on gun control? And he's actually for the people. Which is ridiculous how they're like acting like this man with open-minded views does not know what he's talking about, and he's just rambling shit out of his mouth when he had the experience. When these all quote unquote old people, when they're probably older than like in their 40s or 50s. And they like try to fact check him like, oh, well, can you prove that over? Yeah. He basically have. He's just using obvious. He was just using obvious fair points, and he actually did have the evidence to prove it. It was just logic, really. Um, but other than that, but about this guy, he had some fair points that he would like to see Kamala Harris run in office. It's because it's what we need. But there's one thing I do have to kind of disagree. How he says, like, men is always, like, screwed up on a lot of things. I can admit as a man that we have screwed up, some of us have screwed up. But you can't act like that all men do this. Like, give me a break. I know there's some women who screw up themselves as well. People are like, I swear to people who use the Bible as a way to like make their fair point with some men who would say like, oh, women have always been the like most fucked up like things because look at Eve, she ate the apple, like she ate that like forbidden fruit that she wasn't told to eat along with Adam and Eve, but she took the first bite, which is obviously proven. And I'm just like, okay, still. Like, there's no need to, like, divide and conquer genders when it doesn't even make a difference whatsoever. The way I look at a woman, it's, like, no different how I see a man. If a woman wants to compete just like a man, well, you better work hard. Don't act like, oh, men have it more easier. Everybody has to work the same shift. Don't act like that, oh, man, everybody else, like, gets ahead of you because they were there before you. Don't act like that you should get, like, a medal. Don't act like you should get, like, promoted or recognized just because you start off from the bottom. That's how everybody starts. Like, it's ridiculous. But I'm just saying, if everybody wants a woman in office, then that's what they vote for. I mean, I haven't voted for Trump or Kamala, but I just prefer which one I see in office is because I've seen that logic when they use like colored or gender as like a good topic. Like, how do I say this? As a topic to use against their case about why they would be a great president because she would be the first president. Now, there's nothing wrong having a first president. I'm just saying, I hate when they use that logic. Like, can you just not recognize that that could be a good president? And yes, the first female president, but don't over spam it like, oh, women. Yeah, totally. Okay, so what does that mean for us men? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, okay. Which is basically stating my point where some of these very powerful people or all these stupid idiots are always just stating the fact that no, one gender is obviously better than the other. Both sides can accomplish something, can at least accomplish some of the things together. But how do I say this? And how do I say this? But we shouldn't treat like one gender like it's nothing. If they want to compete in like some like hardcore stuff, then let them compete for it. They just got to work hard for it. Don't act like, oh, just because of their gender, you can't just like, you got to go easy on them or like give them a one-way ticket to being promoted like a lot faster than all the rest of the other people. It's ridiculous. Like, I thought everybody was supposed to be treated fair. I mean, we kind of are. Doesn't sound like it if you're always giving someone who's different than me from gender giving him a better chance, but I'm not. Now it could be the fact that I could probably not start off from the bottom, but I wouldn't complain about it like in real life. I'm just saying, if you're doing things just by gender and you rather focus on more, so you accomplish this more as that gender and leave the men or women or whoever you're just focused on that one gender for, then that's just ridiculous. And I've been rambling on about this. I'm just saying, in general, the debate, it was respectful. I hate the fact that that some of these media, like that some of the medias are just trying to like state the fact like, oh, well, one's obviously better. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I bet some of them are the exact same people who said Biden was the greatest president of all time. But if he really was, why isn't he running? Right? He's so great, right? Why isn't he doing anything about it? Oh, yeah. You see how it is so easy to how someone like just been told to say this garbage and then they have no fact check whatsoever as soon as like the obvious point, as soon as like the obvious problem's right there in front of their face. And you know what they do? You know what some of them do in response? They act like it never happened. Like, oh, well, we didn't say that. Yeah, even though it was broadcast on air, for some of you idiots. God. Grown-ass man, and they say like, oh, well, they have experience more than you. But they act like fucking children. Some of them. The ones who make themselves attention, and I'm not saying I count myself as well. I'm just pointing out the, like, obvious points that it is so ridiculous that some of them are trying to, like, act like that. Oh, the ones that are louder and prouder are the ones who are less likely to become idiots. And I can say this, I'm not very bright-minded myself, but I am very aware of the good. I am very aware of the right and wrong that happens on either sides. So I just stay at the middle. I don't choose anyone else. I don't care if, like, one person says, oh, I'm there for the people. Like Robert F. Kennedy for a start. I didn't vote for him, even though some people could say, well, I mean, based on from your opinion, you sound like you would be a you sound like and you look like you would be a Robert F. Kennedy. I still wouldn't vote for him. I still wouldn't. Because there's something about him that screams, we the people, but he kind of chooses favorites. And I can say this myself, but that doesn't have to apply to him, that someone who says that they don't prefer either one of them kind of lean favorites. Just like how I say Trump is a pretty good president. But why not Kamala? I'm sure Kamala could be a pretty good president too if she didn't sound so basic and the same like how Barack Obama and Biden would sound. Oh, we can take care of your families and whatnot. We can, like, limit this and limit that. Please. Please. Give me a break. Like, after those, like, years that they were in, still hasn't done shit. Really. Like, it's pathetic. One side, at least, like, two of these parties said the same thing. And I believe Bush have also said the same thing as well. So, what makes Trump different? Even though he clearly says the same thing, it's because he has faced more backlash than like most politicians would in the early 2000s. Why are they claiming to now say like Trump's a fascist? Oh, he's a dictator. He's gonna ruin this country and whatnot. When they have no fact check to prove it. Oh, well, look at his time in prison, and they're gonna use the January 6th against him and whatnot. But still, if that really was him, then shouldn't he be in jail for inciting that? I mean, that's violence. You can't do that. That's invoking violence and hate. I mean, you can't really put someone in jail for invoking hate and doing awful things. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, because that's not free speech. That's hate speech. What are you gonna let some neo-Nazi, like, in America, like, actually spread the word that, oh, we should kill all colored people and whatnot? You gonna let them do that? No, I bet some of them wouldn't. I know I wouldn't. But still, those people need to be thrown in jail because there is no way that they need to be provoking violence. Really. Like, there's just no need to, like, act like, oh, one political party is better than the other. Yeah, right, because both of your parties have flaws, and there's some good stuff to it as well, but you can't act like that one side's better than the other. Give me a break. Both sides sound so basic and whatnot. But that's all I got to say for this video. I think I might talk about some of this debate even more and whatnot. But for some of those who decide to stay and watch, then I appreciate for some of you. I will post some more other videos whenever I feel like it. And so far, when it comes with views in total, and this is what I gotta think for some of you, that we are about 230 views. I am about 230 views altogether. Doesn't have to be from the same person. It's just from you guys, really. 230 views. Wow. And really, I don't need subscribers or likes to do that. I am just getting the attention that, and I'm not saying it's your choice if you guys want to stop by and listen. But I'm just making a video because I want some of you to just realize that there are some good, like, that you need to look at the flaws that you support. Is it good? Is it bad? You know, you got to look at it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Sure. Wherever you want to put it. But still, you can't act like, some of us just cannot act like one side's all good and then act like, oh, well, nothing is, my precious, like, side or character, whoever some of you want to just glaze all over. Act like it's the most notorious person of all time, please. Really? Because it makes some of you look like a fool, and you shouldn't act like a fool. You shouldn't have to, but some of them choose to. And that's unfortunate, because I don't know what made them this way, but hey, that's just how some people are. But other than that, I do want to say thank you for some of those who decided to stop by and watch this video. And, just to wrap this video up, stay strong, stay healthy, stay smart, stay curious, all those kinds of things. And I will be back with other videos if I ever see something that comes up and whatnot. So thank you for some of those, and have a good weekend. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your day, actually.